Now to the new crackdowns in our area as coronavirus cases continue to soar. And as limits are lowered on gatherings in New Jersey, that potential closure of the city's public schools is still looming. CBS 2's Bauman live in Washington Heights now. Allie.
Maurice, health officials in New York, New Jersey and Connecticut are all expecting the infection rates to continue rising, especially following Thanksgiving gatherings. So in the meantime, those governors are tightening restrictions and pleading with residents to take the virus as seriously now as they did back in the spring.
The curve is going straight up, and it's just dangerous.
Dan and Laura Vermont of Bergen County have officially canceled Thanksgiving plans with family.
We have elderly relatives, and we just don't get to go visit them.
The state health department strongly advises families not to take residents out of long-term care facilities for the holidays this year and say if they do, those residents will need to quarantine for 2 weeks upon return. Governor Murphy's new state restrictions also limit private gatherings to a maximum of 10 people indoors and 150 people outdoors, with the exception of certain religious or political gatherings, weddings and funerals.
I feel like a lot of people, they sort of have a very short-term mindset to things, and then that's why things are just not getting better.
Over the weekend, New Jersey's daily infection counts surpassed its peak case numbers from the spring. Granted, testing capacity is higher now, but hospitalizations are also rising.
Thank God we're not at those levels, but it's going to get worse.
New York's infection rate is also going up, but there are 89% fewer hospitalized COVID patients in the state than there were in April.
Now the curve is going up, so you don't know what numbers we will have soon.
New York City's weekly infection rate is 2.77%, which means schools can stay open for now since it's below the 3% threshold agreed on by the mayor and teachers union.
If in fact we surpass the threshold, then we will have the immediate effort to get schools back and get them back quickly.
The positivity rate in schools is far lower than the city average at 0.19% through November 12th.
Why not leave the children in the schools rather than have them run around the streets where the infection rate is 5 times as high?
Meantime, college students returning home to Connecticut for Thanksgiving will be met with new rules. Students must quarantine for 2 weeks right before or after coming home, and they must get 1 negative test before and another after returning to the state.
We can't enforce this. I'm going to have to depend upon your good judgment.
New Jersey's governor says another big hurdle, 60% of people in the state are not cooperating with contact tracers, making it nearly impossible to contain outbreaks. Here in New York, Mayor de Blasio says he's considering different plans for reopening schools if they have to close, including a more targeted approach testing school by school. We're live in Washington Heights. Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.